Okay, welcome everyone to the fourth episode of The Daily Roam. TheDailyRoam.com is our website. The Daily Roam is our in-game channel. And welcome. Uh, First off, I want to say thanks again, everyone, for tuning in and listening to our podcast. We got a lot of nice support from the community over the last one, so I appreciate that. Before we get into anything, a couple new vids up on the website. I'm planning on putting out a few more. They're kind of low production quality, but they do, highlight some of the fights I've had, and a lot of them are old clips that I'd rather put up to a song than just delete. I don't really remember exactly how the fights got set up or this or that, but I'm gonna try and start working on some new videos, maybe some ones with some commentary, and slow it down and kind of break down the strategy that goes into it. I just have to find the time to get that done. But yeah, again, thanks everyone. So this week we have a guest on, Hidden Freeman. So go ahead and say hello.
Hello.
All right, sweet. And Spillrag also here. Say hi.
Hello.
Okay, awesome. So Hidden. I guess let's kind of who are you? Give the people listening a little bit of an idea. However you want to do it. Just maybe like your what's what you do in Eve, kind of your history, how you got into it, and then I'll maybe ask you some more questions after you talk.
Okay, I'm Hidden Fremen. I'm currently the North American time zone dude, boss, or whatever you want to call it. Um, where have I started? So when I first started playing, I was playing Guild Wars, and so um, I got introduced into Eve, and I don't know why, but I try to take some of my Guild Wars things into Eve, like, what kind of ship would do something like what a Necro does? Um, and that was like the wrong approach. Anyway, I wanted to start off in like the dangerous area. I didn't know about wormholes yet, and so low sec kind of looked like a good first step right out of high sec naturally. So I set out to join this corp called Free Galactic Enterprise, or Frege back in the day. They don't exist anymore. Autopiloted to their base system like 5 fucking times. Don't even know Didn't know why I kept ending up in my station after my autopilot failed through low sec. So yeah, I did that some time there. I was really bad when I first started, fitting my badgers with like 4 prop mods and whatever other retarded shit.
Excellent.
And then so from there, I bumped into a wormholer from Off-World Miners and Fabricators Guild, also known as OMFG, and that's where I started in wormholes. Did that for a couple years. Started the FCing of smallgang wormhole fleets then. Uh, they were not going in the direction I wanted. I wanted more pew, more opportunities, so I jumped ship. Joined lead farmers, not intentionally um, pull, pulling away OMFG members and have them come join me in lead farmers, but that's how it happened. Then with farmers, I don't know, just kind of no fucks, FC'd here and there, and suddenly I'm not doing so much hunting these days.
Yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, I don't know. So how did you get into FCing? Was it kind of just like, did you want to do that, or did people
Nobody
just,
would do it.
shove you in that role?
No one else was really doing it. And I don't know, like it was just kind of me. Like when I was with OMFG, well, we had like Devlin, he would FC sometimes, but then and Michael 1995, and Sen, so they would FC, and I did some, but like when I got to lead farmers, I was just kind of made the NA time zone FC for some reason. I don't even know why. I wasn't elite or anything, but I mean I just I did it. So
Yeah. I find like a lot of times that FCing is not necessarily, who's best for it or who has the most experience. It's more like who was opening their mouth at the wrong time and got designated the FC.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
like they felt I had the most wormhole combat experience, but I mean, starting out, like I have, I guess if you want to look at my battle clinic, it's looks decent, but I mean, to be honest, they're roasted ganks in the beginning, just me flying around in cloakies and just ganking fools. But since the later year in OMFG and with lead farmers, it's been more than that. And, I mean, more exciting.
Definitely, definitely. All right. Yeah, I don't know. So, anything else you wanted to add before we started maybe talking about fights or getting into that, or do you think you've covered it pretty well?
Yeah, so I'm not the only FC these days. There's many FCs within lead farmers, so I don't need to be primaried anytime you guys engage us.
Yeah, yeah. I think what he's trying to say is primary him off the field every time you see him. So we'll be running around like chickens with our head cut off.
Doesn't happen.
No, but yeah, I mean that is another thing about FCing is if people start to recognize you, they start to know that you're making calls, then you start to be on field less, and it's depressing, but it happens, I suppose.
Yeah,
Or you,
that's. Go ahead.
or you have to put more pimp into your ship, which sucks because I'm fucking space poor.
Man,
Yeah.
you're always Space Force, Phil. Like, I don't know, man. You save all that
I
money
am,
not bringing drones. I don't know how you lose it. Like
dude. Seriously, like I save like a mil each time I forget to pack my flight of warriors.
that's all I'm saying. But yeah, no, definitely, definitely. Okay, so last week we were supposed to get some remote rep fights. Uh, I don't think I got any notable ones. How about you, Phil? Did we have some success this week with RR? Did we even fly it?
N-
I can't even remember.
No, like I personally didn't. I just looked through the kill board. I didn't. Like truth be told, like I thought all the kills that I got this week were from like the week previous. I'm like, wow, I haven't PvP'd at all. But no, it's just because I've been up for like 21 hours. So yeah, there's that.
Nice, nice, yeah. So I didn't really do any RR either. I think we were really stoked on it because you guys had some sweet RR fights last week, but
Yeah,
we kind of dropped the ball on that one. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, I mean, arbitrators, vexers. You guys even tried Tristans and stuff last week, right? So they're still strong despite us never flying them
yeah,
anymore.
RR Tristans?
Yeah, Phil, talk about the RR
yeah.
Tristans for a second, please.
Okay, so like I know I like blabbed on this like a little bit last week. But Mike came up with the fits. Mike's crazy awesome. And so it's 3 remote reps in the highs. Cap booster, micro warp, scram in the mids. Uh, let's see, energized, adaptive, nanomembrane, adaptive, uh, plating, and damage control on the lows. So no buffer. So like kind of balls to the walls. I can't remember what the rigs were. But then you have like all this drone bay for a frigate, and so you just spew like hobgoblins and warriors, and it was actually pretty fun. Um, we went up against like a couple of frigates and like a blackbird. Um, we were able to take out a couple of frigates. While under jams from the blackbird, 'cause the blackbird was like jamming Mike while I was repping him. Until the end of the fight, until the blackbird realized what was up. And we actually almost killed a Algos. Like I died and he was in 20% structure. I was really, really kind of sad. I was like, no, almost killed an Algos with the frigate. So that would have been totally awesome.
Definitely. Yeah, RR Tristans, they sound pretty sweet. Um, I mean, I like RR in general. It's a like a kind of secret hidden force multiplier or whatever, and people definitely underestimate you. Two frigates seems weak, but two frigates with massive RR and still able to apply their drone damage is pretty sweet.
Yeah. And we actually had Mike wanted me to talk about this fight, and maybe it was at the beginning of this week. I can't remember. But it was Dev Elder, Mike, and myself, and we were running around like Doll on Maki area, and we were in RR Arbitrators. And the setup was like 800 plate, some tanks, some drone damage mods, Trimarks, um, remote reps in the highs. But our mids were Track Instructor, Cat Booster, Scram Web, so we were propless. And we had this really awesome fight against some cruisers. And we saved Mike in like 20% structure. It was ridiculous. Like we were bait tanking, but we forgot the part about bait and almost let him die until we heated all the rippers.
Oh god.
And then like he clawed back, and it was amazing. So
That's awesome.
and I think that's why. Yeah, that's the reason why I love doing those RR gangs, is because you get fights like that, and they're just so on the edge that you're like, yes, this is amazing.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I love when you are going into structure. As I remember one of these fights that I'm going to talk about a little later. But I was in a scythe and you were in a Talos, and I remember saying on comms, I'm like, you better not be in fucking armor when I land on field, and you weren't. You were in structure, but I saved you anyway, so it was pretty awesome. But yeah, all right. So let's I'll get into my first fight that I wanted to talk about here. Um, all right. So we have two Talos, an Oracle, and a Merm. Um, the idea of this Merm, Spill, tell me about this Merm. What was the idea behind this Merm in our heads?
So recently I watched a video, and the dude was doing like active tanking and stuff. I'm like, I've never flown a triple rep merm, so I'm gonna fly triple rep merm. So I fit one up, going out, and I was like, oh, okay. So we have 3 tier 3s, and like I'll be bait, you know, like warp in. Like I'm
Yeah,
not too scary. Like sure I can tank a lot, but I'll draw out a fight, you know. So it sounds like a great plan. Um,
it
so I'll let you
it
take over
kind of
from there.
worked. Yeah, it kind of worked. I don't know. Hidden, have you ever flown triple rep Merms or even just in general active tank ships?
Not armor, and definitely not triple rep merm.
All right, well, no worries. So the general idea was Spill was gonna sit there, and people were gonna be like, "Hey, look, there's this stupid Merm at 0," and then we were gonna haze anything that went for him. But what ended up happening was Spill jumps the gate. We're all on the gate at 0 waiting, and there's a sizable gang on the other side. There's about 13 of them. It's Exile, I think, is most of the corpse. They're in the initiative, all of them, and yeah, so 13 of them. They're Hurricane Heavy. Let me look at this battle report real quick for you guys. It's 4 Canes, a Cinnable, a Vexer, 3 Tackle Frigs, a Zealot, a Lachesis, and a Vagabond. So pretty sizable gang. No Logi, which is always good to see. Um, but yeah, so Spill jumps into that. I don't know, Hidden. What would your thoughts be if you're in a Merm and you jump into a gang like that, and you've only got 3 buddies on the other side?
Well, I mean, like that's a lot of alpha for. I mean, like a triple rep armor tanking is good for 1v2, 1v3, like a gang like that, as what was still in the merm baiting with triple reps. Was that the
Yeah.
Yeah.
idea? And then
Kind
Yeah,
of.
like so I jump
I
into
We
don't know.
didn't
assist them.
anticipate running into this particular gang with this Merm, so we didn't have any kind of meta plan. But if you are Spill and you do jump into this gang, kind of what are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking we're probably gonna die, but
Yeah, and
you
that's
could
what a
like kill
sane
some shit on
person.
your way down.
I mean, that's what a sane person would be thinking. But Spill, on the other hand, was thinking something along the lines of like, I'm gonna YOLO on these
We got this.
motherfuckers, and we got this. So Spill burns back to the gate, kind of trying to split them by aggression. And I think some of them did aggress, right? Spill, they did kind of aggress, a few of them.
Okay. Okay, so two of them aggressive. Actually, I jumped in, and there's like a large bubble on the gate, and there's a saber and like a zealot on the edge of the bubble. And like I'm hitting D-scan, and then like a couple more show up. I'm like, okay, this is still manageable. And then I'm still cloaked. And then but I'm still D-scanning like long, and I'm like, oh, there's more and more and more. And so like, I think I mentioned it. But then they like all land, and I'm just like, there's a giant gang here. And so I try and like split them with aggression, and I can't remember if I died in the bubble on that side of the gate or if I was able to jump. I think I was able to jump.
You were able to
But
jump, but it was rough. I think you it was pretty good. There was a moment there. You jump, everyone else is burning away from the gate. I mean, you're in a triple rep room. You're dead no matter what. It's bubble on one side, gang on the other side.
yeah.
So like it was over for you. So we're all burning away, and basically, I remember being like at one point, like you just broken cloak, and I think you were like reapproaching. We were all at our optimals, you know, the taluses and the oracle, and I'm like, oh, how are you holding? And then I look at my watch list in your instructor and about to explode. And I'm like, oh, so he like I think you maybe cycled your reps once or twice. It was not the 5 canes or whatever they had, 4 canes I think it was not the ideal situation for your for your triple rep run.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But
I actually got 2 cycles off on all 3 of them, and then after the second cycle, I was just alpha. It's like, okay.
yeah, so
GG.
so then from there, what ends up happening is we see you go down and we're burning away. Um, And I mean, that was the most interesting part of the fight, I would say, is your merm exploding. And from there, the Lachesis ended up tackling one of our Talus. But me and the other Talus were able to finish off a Cinnable, a Tyrannus, and a Rifter, and then moonwalk out of there. So as far as like efficiency and ISK goes, we actually came out on top because it was that Cinnable had a like a B-type micro warp or something. He had like 100 mil micro warp drive fit. It was stupid. It made no sense. But it was good.
Yeah.
Well, the hull's not cheap either. So
Yeah, and I've been having so this is the thing. I've had this trend of flying oracles this week. And even in situations where I die, I've been able to kill Cinnables. Because if they're able to keep point on me, then they burn straight into my multi-frequency with their MWD on. And they're like, oh, I can tank this, bro. And then when they realize they can't, then they're burning directly away from me with their MWD on, and they're in my scorch range. So, Cinnables are a sweet target for an Oracle. Definitely, I've been having fun with that. But yeah, so we killed a Cinnable, we killed a couple of their tackle, and we left. But so we won the score. We went up 4 dudes against 13, and that's the thing that actually I wanted to touch on slightly here is like my it's interesting when you look back at these battle reports because it's actually pretty impressive. 4 dudes going against 13 dudes and getting kills. But in my head afterward, I'm like, oh man, that sucks. Like 2 of us died and it feels bad and this and that. But it's like, I guess the thing I have to think about is keeping things in perspective. Like, they had 3 times our numbers. They had 3 dudes per each of us. They were in similar classed ships, if not better. And we were able to still dunk on them a little bit. So like I think that's it's pretty good. But sometimes like I don't know. I feel bad. I feel like I'm a terrible player. But like I don't know. Like how do you kind of measure your success in like as far as PvP goes? Like what's a successful op for you?
well, I like that too. Oh, definitely the S4 is definitely good, but I like that attitude. Like who fucking cares about losing your ship? As long as you can take some people down with you, that's op success to me. Except for T3s when you lose skill points.
Sure, it's a little different there, but even so, I do agree. Yeah, definitely. And so it's something that I'm pretty actually proud of looking back at, like the ability to. I don't think we've ever gone into somebody's space and had them form up an equal numbers, equal classed ship gang. Oh, we bring 3 cruisers into someone's space. I've never had anyone undock 3 cruisers and have like a brawl with us or a skirmish or whatever. It's never been that way. So it's always the idea of our small gang going against overwhelming numbers and odds. And even if we do end up dying, we end up killing a bunch of stuff with us too. So it's pretty sweet, I think, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so Spill, did you have a fight you wanted to talk about then?
Yeah. So this fight, we got into a brawl 9 versus 32 against Gentleman's Agreement out in Nullsec, and we were in our Tech 3s and Guardians, and then one of our other dudes, Lab, brought a Kronos to clear ECM drones. And so what ended up happening is like we were out there baiting for quite a while, I think probably about half an hour, and I think we had like a skirmish earlier, and they were pretty active in the station system. Like there's 50 of them, and so we're like, okay, like let's try Tech 3s and Guardians, and we did have a damnation boost because otherwise this would not have worked at all. So this is one of those fights where like boost made things possible. But yeah, we had 3 Guardians, Proteus, 4 Legions, and a Kronos. Versus like 10 Cyclones, Hugin, Claymore, Lachesis, 4 Semis, and like 10 Firetails and some Dremels. So I don't know, like thoughts, like if you saw that on D-Scan with your 9 dudes, like would you just be like shooting bricks, like time to run, or would you go like head first into that?
Well,
Me?
real quick, for me, I was there, and this was our re-engage on these guys. We'd fought them before. I think I might have been even FCing this, and in my head, I'm like, we're fucked. Like we are super fucked. Like we fought them before. One of our legions got bumped off the gate and killed. Our reps weren't holding because they had too many ECM drones. They had crazy, this and that. And I'm kind of thinking in my head like this is fucked. And then so I was totally ready to take us back home and hide in our hole, you know.
Oh
But
yeah,
but everyone else was like, no, we want to fight these guys. We're here. We're gonna do. And I'm just like, you know what? Like fuck it. Like if the fleet wants to fight them, I am more than happy. But my biggest fear as an FC is that everyone's going to be really butthurt that I got them whelped in some stupid situation. But if the entire fleet is like, fuck yeah, let's YOLO this shit, let's fight these guys, and that was really that was awesome. It was empowering as an FC because I knew everyone was cool with dying and wanted to take that fight, and it was sweet. But yeah, in my head, I'm like, fuck that, we're gonna die. Like that's what I was thinking to myself. I knew what they had, and I'm like, I don't know if that Kronos is gonna make the big difference, but it actually ended up making a pretty cool difference. But yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts, Hidden,
yeah.
on kind of the same
on
situation?
the part about being afraid to whelp your fleet or feeling bad because you got them killed or whatever, like that was my biggest obstacle before as or when I was FCing because I didn't want to feel bad, bro. But after a while, you realize that they're there with you to fly uh, with you, and they wouldn't be there if they weren't ready to lose their ships. So like the sooner you really realize that, the more liberal you can be with whelping whelping your fleets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
But this engagement, like I don't know if you guys saw this big fleet, but yeah, if they had one brain cell, they would know to, like they did, go for your guardians, and there was just no way you would escape the cyclone rush. But
Yeah,
like I don't know, it looked fun.
oh,
You did get kills, and
and it
I mean,
and for me, I didn't think about the Cyclone Rush. I'm not sure anyone did. I didn't. I'm like, what can 60 small newts do to us? That never like crossed my thought, like my head. I didn't think about the cyclones with their utilities and their newts and their drones. I just, like I don't know if that was an error on my part or what, but it was like I did not think they were going to have as much newting power as they did, which ended up eventually breaking us, I think. But yeah, I guess go on, Spill. You're telling the story.
Okay. So we'd actually engaged them on gates twice before. Like we engaged them at first, and I think at first we like lost a Legion. I can't remember who. I think it was Wrestler. I don't
It
know.
was Ed, but
Oh, that's right. It was Ed. So we lost Ed because he couldn't de-aggro in time. And so we jumped through, and they all saw aggression. Like we warped to the gate. And we're like, okay, let's try it again. And then that second engagement, like my Proteus got out in like 5% armor. It was ridiculous. um, And then so we jump the gate again, get reps, and at that point, they're not chasing quite as fast, and so that gives us time to set up on the gate again. And Lab was able to pull his Chronos out. He's like, oh yeah, I've got like Marauder, so I can bring lots of DPS and smart bombs. We're like, okay, let's try it. Because our Logi was actually having trouble with like literally 100 ECM drones, like 300s and 600s on the field. Not to mention the news. So honestly, like props to fucking our Logi bros, Yabi, Raskin, Lily, because they did an amazing job of keeping me up because like I was farming a lot along with the Guardians. And so finally on our third engagement, like we're sitting there and we're actually able to like kind of hold the field, and we're able to break 2 semis in the beginning of the third engagement. And then it kind of was a stalemate for a little bit, and then slowly the Guardians started breaking. And during that time, they are also cycling news on my Proteus. So like there was 800 DPS off the field essentially, which is actually a pretty large chunk considering that we only had 4 other legions and a Chronos. And so luckily towards the end, I was able to get like 2 energy transfer cycles from like the Guardians, and I was able to get DPS back on the field. And actually, sorry, I said we were able to get 2 semis in the beginning, but we actually got 1, and then the reps were holding. But after I got Cap back, I was able to replay DPS on the semi, and we were able to break him. But then right after that, our Guardian started to go down, like boom, boom, boom. And so we deaggressed, and we lost the 3 Guardians in the Chronos, but we were able to get the Tech 3s out. So, like, overall, we lost ISK efficiency pretty hard. But it's really probably one of the more fun fights that I've had just because of, like, the up engagement.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot to be said about taking a smaller gang against a larger gang. And I mean, we all learned a lot of stuff there. I think maybe even 1 or 2 more guys. I mean, realistically, probably 3 more dudes, and we'd have probably won that engagement, in my opinion. Because looking at the watch list, the way I was seeing it, right as we started to break their semi, our Guardian started to break, and so basically both of us killed all of each other's Logi at the exact same time. But when they have 30 dudes, or I guess 27 after their semis go down, and we have 6 dudes after our Guardians go down, it's a huge, it's definitely a different fight from that point. So if we had been able to break their semis a little quicker, then we'd have been able to start taking out their DPS, and I think we probably would have held the field. It was very close, I
Yeah.
guess, is what I'm trying to say. It was very, very, very close. And despite the number difference, it was a lot of fun.
So, looking at this battle report, like it reminds me, nullsec is really bad at spreading points. Like I go into an engagement. I don't know. I think you guys might be the same way, but I'm like, how do we engage them and have not one ship escape?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Especially in wormholes when we're trying to gank people, it's, our cloaky tackle guy's only got 1 point and there's 3 of them on field. Like, okay, we need a bubble. We need a dude with more points. Like we don't, we wait until we're ready to kill them. Especially if we're forming up and
Or like
engaging them on our turns.
Yeah, during an engagement, like a proper PvP fight, um, like when we're in the shit engaged, and we kind of have a feel of where it's going, we immediately say spread points and call if you've got this guy pointed and this and that. Like this fleet, they should have pointed every single one of you guys and killed every single one of you guys. It's just fucking, it's beyond me how they don't spread point.
Yeah.
Well, we were actually on a gate. We were on I think we were like on the gate that led back to our home wormhole, or maybe we were like 1 jump out. So essentially, when we noticed the Guardians were pretty much breaking, we called Diagrass, and so like everyone jumped out, and the other gang was still like killing the Guardians, so the Guardians like sacrificed themselves.
Yeah,
So we could all jump out and run for the hills.
at the end of this one, they kind of made the choice: do we kill the Guardians, or do we degress and try and get them on the other side? But in the first engagement, they actually they jumped into us. I'm pretty sure, and we were able to burn out and warp away. I think most of us. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. It might be a little hazy. Maybe we did do the whole degress thing again, or something. I don't know. There were multiple times we could have been pointed and killed, or bubbled and killed, or killed and killed, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, like even in like off the gate and off the station in nullsec, lowsec, whatever. Like you know when you're being primary when everyone's red boxing you and you're taking much damage. But then like I can recall many times where like 70% of them have me scrammed, have like one ship scrammed. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, because I think that's what people do is they put everything. They just hit F1 through 12 on the primary, and then when it dies, they do it on the next. So I mean that's always fun. So when there's 10 dudes, and like there's one Cinnable pointing me, and then it dies, and then I'm free and I warp away and I laugh, and I cry.
I mean, I'm not complaining. Like keep it up, but
Sure. I
Yeah,
mean,
seriously.
please don't point me ever again, and we'll have some fun engagements. But yeah, definitely something interesting. Like you think, oh, I'm dunked. There's 12 people here on this gate, and it turns out none of them have you pointed, and you're free to go. Okay, so then I guess I have another fight here to talk about. Um, yeah, all right. So this one is, all right, yeah, we'll talk about this one. This one's actually recently. This was like yesterday, I think. But it was against Razor Alliance, and we had a curse, an oracle, a caracal, and actually two caracals and a scythe. And I mean, I've talked before about how good scythes are. They're sweet. I was talking to someone and he was kind of saying like, oh well, they're really scary and this and that. But like, if flown well, the scythe is like, in my opinion, a pretty invaluable force multiplier for small gang stuff. But anyway, yeah, we're fucking with these guys on their station. Spill was actually out there fucking with them before. And kind of died before this engagement happened in his caracal, and then landed on field with his reship right as we had finished the engagement. But yeah, you did solo a caracal or a saber, right? I think before we got there, he bubbled himself and you dunked him.
Yeah. Yeah, he literally double bubbled himself on a station after he addressed me, and
Yeah, that's rough.
so I shot him.
But
So
that
and
happened, and I don't know. I mean, yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, like, I felt pretty hard because it was literally right on the underduck. So I was like killing the saber and burning away, and I was like, oh wait, his pod's there. So I start shooting it, and I'm like, I'm out of range. So I like turn around mid micro warp cycle, and burn back in, all the while like worrying that I'm like not gonna get a pod kill because I'm stupid. So it
Yeah,
felt really terrible.
I hear you.
Wow.
Definitely that does happen. But it was a pretty fun engagement. We took, I mean, 5 of us, and there were 6 of them. A couple of them reshipped. So what ended up happening is the first thing that happens is a saber lands on me, and he drops a bubble, and then our curse just newts him out instantly in one cycle, and his micro warp shuts down, and I blap him. So I mean, nothing really strategic about that. Like, I mean, I don't know. We talk about it all the time. Sabers are just fucking coffins. Like, anyone who flies a saber dies. It's just what happens. But then the real fight was that saber ended up going back and reshipping into a hurricane, and I warped to the station. I know I've got my scythe kind of hiding back. They've already seen the curse, and then we've got another caracal just chilling back there. So basically vagabond, hurricane, and a rifter on dock. This isn't very. I mean, this is pretty clear cut. Like, if you're me hidden and you're in an oracle, are you afraid? And if so, what are you afraid of with the vagabond, the hurricane, and the rifter?
well, I would be afraid of them manually piloting to me maybe with good transversal, but I mean that's it really. If they got in close, they could definitely rape me, and I would die quickly, but
Yeah,
as
and
long
so
as they're
that's
micro warp driving toward you, you should be hitting him pretty good.
yeah, and so that's kind of their plan. What ends up happening is neither me or the curse, which are both on the end dock, have points. So this is stupid. That's our first mistake. But anyway, what ends up happening is the vagabond kind of burns straight in, and as he's getting pretty close, getting ready to put a point on me, I'm not trying to burn away. I'm trying to let him get in on me, thinking he's gonna get a kill. But then basically I call in the other Caracal and the Scythe. So it's Oracle Curse Caracal Scythe. I mean we've pretty much got this in the bag. But the Vaga committed too hard. Basically is what I would have to say. He got neuted out instantly and couldn't micro warp anymore from our curse. Kind of the same fate and death as that saber. And then the Hurricane was just he saw what was happening. He was really far off. We only have 1 point between all of us, which is our Caracal, and he was just kind of flopping around. Like I don't know what he thought he was doing, but we burned in and we killed him too. So
Was this
I
on a
guess
gate too?
it was on a station. It was all on a station. So like they could have had more dudes. They could have undocked this and that. And not to actually go off too hard, but Spillrag actually got a couple kills on a station while they had a Thani undocked that was repping people, and we just pulled them off the station and killed them. So it was interesting. The fight could have escalated a lot more, but the thing I liked about it was basically we got 5 kills, 2 pods, and the only thing we lost was Caracal, and that was dead before our fleet even got there. So it was pretty sweet, I guess. No real strategy on that one, but and then we ended up kind of whelping ourselves. Not everyone. 2 of us died. The Oracle and the Curse ended up dying against a 14-man gang that they'd formed up to kill us after we killed these guys. So they got us back, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah, okay.
Curse.
The curse was it was sweet. The fit was a little questionable. We've been trying to work with Lily on getting a better fit for it, but the ability people just don't they don't think about it. The curse just newts them out instantly, and they're like, "Wow, what the fuck just happened?" And then they die. Like I don't know what they're thinking. Like the vagabond clearly was thinking he could burn away, and same with that saber. Drop a bubble, burn away. But the saber was neuted out like before he could cycle his MWD. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah. And also, Lily had 3 tracking disruptors, and after the hack bonus, essentially they're bonus to 60% with the script. So, he actually put all 3 on you, and your source range went from like 60 or 70 to like 9 kilometers with large pulses.
70k optimal went down to 9k optimal with those 3 TDs on me. So curse is strong. It's very strong. I need to learn to fly it. I can't yet, but fucking insane. Curse is great. You like the curse, right?
Yeah, like Ghost was in a curse often for a while. Just it's hard to fly. I think it's hard to fly a curse.
Yeah, they're pretty scary.
They're squishy and
they're squishy.
they're effective.
They're worth ISK.
But in bigger gangs, they're really hard to keep alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Spill and I have been trying to brain some ideas for like support recons or whatever, and
because you almost always have to armor tech it really to capitalize on the tracking disruptors.
Yeah, and then you're slow, and then it's hard, and it's just it's got a weird place because even with an armor tank, it's weak. It's gonna die fast, and it's slow, and then you shield tank it, and you have no TDs anymore. I don't know. I know there's a place for the curse out there.
I just feel bad. You could shield tank it. I just feel bad. Just like using 1 or 2 only tracking disruptors.
Yeah, I tried making a shield fit, and it's just like, how do you get this thing to like be an effective platform using its bonuses?
It just feels like you're making too many sacrifices. I don't know. I need to, I don't know. If you fly curse, send me a mail. Tell me how to fly curse, please. I'm bad, I think, is the moral of the story here. But alright, so Spill, you had another fight you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, so I actually soloed a Pilgrim with my Talos. And this is really fun. So I'm actually glad we were talking about the curse because this is a good follow-up. The curse has a range bonus, but the Pilgrim does not. And so uh, what had happened was that I had jumped out an EOL wormhole in Stain, and then literally I was about to jump back into it after fooling around out in nullsec. And as I'm clicking it, it's like wormholes be despawn. I just sit there and like I spam the jump button, and it's like no, denied. So I noticed I'm near a pocket system, and Stain is NPC nullsec. So there's mission systems for the Sancha. And so I'm like, oh, I'm near a mission pocket. So I go in there and I start messing around. And there's some dudes flying around, like people on dock, like a Varger and a couple Tengus. And I blap terribly fit Drake on the undock when he aggresses me. He had like the proper mids, but terrible lows, and the only thing in his highs was a Tech 2 cloaking device. So I'm not sure what's happening there, but I killed him. And then I go into the last system, which is
God,
the
that
pocket,
fit.
and I start. Oh yeah. It's. I was like, what happened with this Drake? And so I go into the last pocket, and they warp like 2 Drakes, 2 Tengus, to the gate. And I'm like, I can't take that just because missiles hurt tier 3s no matter what. Actually, pretty much like any riding ship like Tengus, Ravens, Drakes, they hurt tier 3s pretty hard. But then I see a Pilgrim on scan, and so I'm just waiting around. I'm like, I really want to fight this Pilgrim because I know I could probably engage that. And so eventually the Pilgrim lands, and he actually starts burning off the gate. And I wait until he's probably like 60, 70 off the gate, and then I have null loaded. So I just keep my point heated pretty much, and I just kite between like 20 and 28k. Sometimes I dip a little bit lower because I have to burn in to make sure he doesn't get away. And yeah, I just kind of blap him down, and then I bounce safes, and then I eventually just kind of moonwalk out of the system. And it was it felt really good. And he was properly fit, like his fit was good. But he was using the tracking speed script in his tracking disruptor, and I was pretty much able to keep very low transversal on him the whole time because he was burning straight at me, so I just burned the other way. And then if I noticed like he was trying to pull range, then I burn back in a little bit.
Yeah.
And so it was really nice. So
Definitely.
I was
Yeah.
really, really smug for like
I
the
think.
rest of the night
Oh,
after
dude,
that.
I was pretty jealous. I wish I had gotten trapped out there with you, but I had warped home in a panic when like a 20-man frig gang landed on my Oracle. But but yeah, like so I don't know. Kind of I think maybe the inspiration and why you felt so smug on this was like maybe partially due to that new Coverix video that came out where he was just dunking everyone in the Navy Omen. And I was
Oh
watching that,
yeah.
and I'm like, dude, I don't even know how to play this fucking game. Like watching his manual piloting, and like the way he's keeping people at range, and like weaving between gangs, and just dunking on everyone. It really made me want to kind of work on my manual piloting and keeping ranges and stuff like that. And like that's kind of why I've been playing the Oracle. It's a lot slower than it should be, and a lot of the times I end up doing the whole burn and whatever. But it's kind of was my inspiration for like I'm gonna work on actually keeping myself manually at the ranges that I need to and killing people and applying full damage when I need to and avoiding it when I need to and all of that. But yeah, I mean I think I would be really smug too if I got some sweet manual piloting kill against a pilgrim. But no, I suck. Huh. Yeah. Okay. We probably have time for one or two more fights to talk about. So let me take a look. What else do I have here? I'm just gonna kind of skim over this one. Real highlights, real quick. Nothing Nothing too big, and then I have one more probably that I want to talk about. But this one, it was Spill's been flying the Hurricane a lot lately to couple with my Oracle because it actually is pretty effective at killing tackle, and is more robust than like something like a Caracal or a Bellicose. So we've been having fun with that. Spill's bringing the Hurricane back, I guess, is what he's been doing. But there were three of us.
The Nano Shield Cane.
Yeah, Nano Shield Cane. There we go. It's pretty sweet. But yeah, three of us. Me and an Oracle, Spill in a Hurricane, and one of our guys, Alamanti, in a Talus. And this fight was against 11 dudes, all FCon. And basically, we killed a Harpy, a Wolf, a Thrasher, and a Cinnable, and then ended up getting finished off by their horde of battle cruisers. Or, yeah, tier 3 battle cruisers and normal battle cruisers and stuff. They had Brutix, Nagatalos, some Caracals, Saberfleets, stuff like that. But it was pretty fun. And I guess the highlight on this one, we killed another Cinnable. We're like, oh no, we blapped a Harpy, we blapped a Wolf, we blapped a Thrasher. It might have been independently, it might not have been the exact fight. But then shit hit the fan, we're burning away. Cinnable burns in, and I actually got scrammed by the Cinnable. He had a faction scram fit. I don't know why. There's some crazy Cinnable fittings out there. I mean, I don't know. None of his other fit seemed to warrant the scram, but he burned in and he scrammed me in. He paid the price for it. So despite losing two of us, we went 3v11 and came out on top. I don't know. Hidden, do you fly things like Cinnables ever, or do you have any experience with stuff like that? Cinnables, Vagabonds, etc.
I appreciate their speed, and they are really effective ships if you can pilot them well. But like, it seems people think like these Citadel pilots, like they are too confident in the agility and speed of these ships, but they don't really pilot them well enough, so they just die.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like them. If you can pilot them really well, you kick some ass.
Yeah, I mean, I think they are good. I wonder. It must be hard to pilot them effectively against tier 3 battle cruisers.
Like, you can't just use your approach and orbit and keep distance shit. You have to manually pilot these ships.
Yeah, definitely. So then I'm kind of torn between this last fight to talk about. Which one would you guys rather talk about? Small gang of us going up against the Moon Tribe. They were 50 boxing Mackinaws, and then they all logged out and logged in combat ships. Or fight kind of a precursor to Spill killing that Pilgrim, which was oh jeez, I just lost the battle report because I'm the best. Which was 4 of us, and we ended up killing like a few of them after baiting them out in a particular fashion. Which one would you guys want to hear about?
I can't find the other one. I see the Moon Tribe one.
Was the other one where we killed the Falcon?
Yeah,
the wolf and shit?
The Falcon and the wolf and shit. I don't know. Okay, whatever.
Oh, like
to touch on it quickly. The Moon Tribe. It wasn't a huge tactical thing, so that's why I won't talk about it too much. But basically, we jump out of this wormhole. It leads into our home, and there's 53 people in local, something like that, and the majority of them are all in Mackinaws, which was fucking crazy. And we tried a couple times to catch them, and then they kind of possed up and talked some trash, and then all of them logged out. It was 1 or 2 dudes that were 50 boxing Mackinaws. Like, I don't even know what to think about that. Like, it's insane. I don't even know. Like, I hope they're selling that for real life money or something, because that just seems fucking crazy. Like,
why would you play Eve to do that?
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, I hope they have, they live in a third world country and their family is starving, and so they play Eve and they make ISK and they sell it to support them with 50 Mackinaws, because like that was just fucking crazy. I don't know. It blew my mind. But anyway, yeah, they ended up undocking a bunch of crap against us and getting hurt over it. Like a 500 mil rapier went down in a fire, a Dommy and some other stuff. Osprey with faction shit on it. But yeah, we ended up bringing like a small gang of us, 5 or 6 of us out there, and dunking on them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was hoping that the guy was gonna 50 box tornadoes and it was gonna be epic, but it didn't happen. So then, okay, last fight here with some actual or on my end. Phil's probably got another one, but strategic wise, we're in against all authorities. They're ratting in the system. I don't remember what region this was. Stain was it, Phil? It was Stain.
Yeah, this is Stain. This is the precursor to me getting locked out of the wormhole.
Exactly. So we're out there. I'm in an Oracle. Dev's in a Talos. Spill's in a Bellicose. And oh, actually, yeah, Spill was in a Bellicose, which ended up dying, and then he came back in a Talos. But I don't remember the exact order on this, but these guys kept undocking battleships and messing with us with battleships, and I really wanted a battleship kill. They had a Scorpion, a Geddon, a Tempest, and a Typhoon. And sadly, we ended up not getting any of the battleships, but what was cool, or what ended up happening, is they all aggressed me, and I warped off to a belt. And then Wolf and I'm pretty sure it was just the wolf that followed me. I'm pretty sure we killed the slasher and the stabber on the undock in like one volley, something dumb like that. But a wolf follows me, and I mean, I don't know, like a wolf versus an oracle, that's really bad for me. I mean, that's not the best. Like Hin was talking a little earlier about things spiraling in and killing you and this and that. And everyone else was in like a long warp, or Spill might have even been just coming back to the system. Spill, do you remember how you lost your Bellicose? Did you get neutered out or something?
What are you doing? Oh yeah, I got neutered out by the Geddon because Geddon's newt range is ridiculous.
That's something definitely to talk about. Is that fucking Geddon? Like we lost 2 ships to him because he 40k newt range and he neuted them out and then they died. Like I don't know what to say. You lost your Bellicose and Dev lost his Talos that way. So that was we got outplayed on that line. But yeah, I don't know. So this wolf, he's got me tackled. I might have had a friend at this point. I'm pretty sure you were around, right, Spill? I don't know. Let me look at this.
Yeah, like I was coming back to the belt, and I think Dev was there as well. Like I don't think he was dead yet.
Okay, yeah, Dev wasn't dead yet, but so there's a wolf there. And like, okay, so if you're a wolf and you've got an oracle and a belt, that's fine, right? You can kill him. I mean, that's fine. But I mean, if you're this wolf and then 2 Talos land on you, I mean, what is your playbook going to consist of? Like, what would you do, Hidden, if 2 Talos land on you while you have an oracle tackled?
Say that again. Sorry, get distracted.
Oh no problem. So, but you've got an oracle tackled in a belt, and you're in a wolf, and 2 Talos land on you. What do you do?
Keep moving and hope buddies come before you lose point or die.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're like, oh, this wolf's here. Like, hopefully these battleships are gonna warp in and save him. And nothing happened. He just kept circling us and getting blapped, and he eventually died. To the Talos and the Oracle. Like he just died. I don't know. And then seconds later, and I guess I'm including this because fucking killing falcons is awesome. Seconds later, a falcon lands, like literally lands, like not like decloaks, not like he was there or anything, like warps from the station. Like they're like, oh dear, my wolf is tackled. We're in a bunch of battleships. What do? We warp a falcon in. And so I don't know.
Save me, bro.
Yeah, the wolf was already dead, and the falcon lands, and he's got the best fit ever. My recommended falcon fit, which is 0 tank, all jams in the mids and signal lamps in the lows. And yeah, he gets 2-shot by like the combination of Talos and Oracle. Madness. Like just everyone cycled their guns on him and he died. But yeah, and so that didn't really turn into anything. I really wanted some battleships, this and that. But then what ended up happening was one of the guys was in a Geddon, one of the guys was in a Pilgrim, and one of the guys was in like some kind of frigate. I can't remember. And I'm baiting them. We're getting ready to maybe. We were actually trying to convince you, Hidden, to drop a dread on their battleships. I think at this point we were like, oh man, we'll fit a Sino.
Oh yeah,
that was just fight.
Yeah, and you just you Sino in your Moros, and you just one-shot all their battleships. And we were ready, like we were getting ready for it. People were preparing, Sino walls were moving, and then the Pilgrim decloaks on me at 0 in my, or not the Pilgrim, sorry, it was an Arazu. And the Pilgrim's on the gate, and one of their other dudes is on the gate, and I'm crapping my pants, like I've got an Arazu on me, I'm scrammed, like I'm trying to beat him up. I'm in a really bad position. And then what ended up happening was like a 20-man assault frig gang from Flying Dangerous, I think is who it was, ended up jumping into system. And they ended up dunking all the guys on the gate, and the Arazu warped off and let me go. And so I was screaming, because the only thing worse than being tackled by an Arazu in an Oracle is a 20-man assault frig gang coming for you. And I figured it was them and like something had happened, but then it turned out it was some hostiles. So it's kind of a weird three-way battle there, but despite me not getting on the kill mails, I got them all killed for trying to get me. So I felt good. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to talk about, Spill? Otherwise, I kind of want to touch on that ninja warp that we were all involved in, and that kind of what led up to it.
Yeah, let's go over the ninja warp. Hidden, do you remember this?
Yeah, I was the one who ninja warped him.
Yeah.
Dirt.
So
Dirt.
yeah. So anyway, what ended up like? I kind of arrived late to the party or whatever, but we were trying to form up to fight some guys that were in a C2, right? And that's where you were, I think, was a C2 down our chain.
Yeah, so I was just exploring, scanned C2 in a high sec. Jump in, just kind of derping around, seeing who's active, and there was no active pilots at the time. I don't think. I find their C2 static. Jump through an adventure lands on me, so I try to catch it. It jumps over, and I jump back over to follow it. I'm on polarity now. Suddenly, on the other side, there's a Proteus, Purifier, Dominix is warping in, Scorpion was warping in. So yeah, they were anticipating my polarity, I guess, and try to catch me, but they didn't catch me. And then they tried to roll me out, and that kind of pissed me off. So, we tried to engage them and didn't work out the way we wanted to. So we kind of broke off, and then we found this other C2 where there was a Nighthawk and Drake piloted. Well, they were in co-ops, and suddenly they shipped up to Nighthawk and Drake. When I don't think that we're gonna get anything from a system, I usually try to ninja warp just as a last resort. And I have I don't know, really low success rate at it, but I keep trying, something like 20-15%. But Drake and Nighthawk took the fleet invites. I was in their squad command, and I ninja warped them to the wormhole where my buddies were at, waiting to kill them.
Yeah, it's just that is
amazing
the most fun.
How that works.
I don't understand. Like, I mean, maybe I would if people tried it. Maybe I would act like I don't know. The shit was hilarious though. Both of them, both the Drake and the Nighthawk, accepted the fleet invite, and you warped them off their post into our gang. So that's awesome.
I mean, from what I heard, from what they were saying, because like one of our alliance mates used to be in that corp. I guess they were saying that they were getting ready to do something, so they thought that the fleet invites were friendly, and they just didn't fucking look and just accepted. And then when they got when warp initiated, they just didn't think nothing of it. Really, they didn't even try to stop it. I didn't have to spam.
Oh man, that's really funny. I almost got a ninja warp the other day, inspired by you. It was those AFCon guys. I had a Dommy accept fleet, but he was completely at 0 when he accepted, and he noticed before his Dominix warped off. Even though I was spamming, he left fleet right away. So I tried pretty hard. I also same thing with the Blackbird.
Almost in this C4, I almost got a Nidhogger warped off. Like he was at 70k before he noticed.
Just that's people awesome. Blindly accept invites, please, to fleets, everyone.
Yeah, it's please. Probably for your own, so just do it.
Yeah, it's got to be.
We usually
a friendly
give out
fleet.
free ESC.
At least,
I mean, DPS.
Yeah, you want an insurance payout? Accept the fleet invite, no problem.
When you accept my invites, I'll put you through a rainbow warp tunnel, and you'll love it.
It's the best.
It's fabulous.
It's the best. Okay, so I mean, despite some of the cool fights we had, we got a free Tengu this week. Some guy ejected from it, who was AFK in a site, and I think Spill also got a
Oh,
sweet
yeah.
Tengu kill like the night after, with like some canes. Canes kill Tengus,
Yeah.
but yeah, we don't really. I'm gonna try and keep it to an hour this week and the weeks from here on out. So I think we've just about hit our hour mark. But what do we want to fly this week? What are you excited to fly? Something that maybe we haven't been flying yet, but we might actually get in and fly.
So I'm totally going to fly this Omen that I'm orbiting the Possum right now. And the
Yes.
fit is from Naru Kozan, who's actually an old alliance mate, and he linked it and bringing to a back channel. And how it's set up is 800 plate, medium ancillary repper, 2 heat sinks, energized adaptive, damage control, micro warp, small cap booster with 400s, warp disruptor, focused medium pulse laser too. And the idea is that you can actually kite with this, and the rigs are, at least for me personally, are 2 locus coordinators. And on Naru's fit, it's he has a damage rig as well, but I don't have the fitting skills for that, so I'm using an agility rig, and then just
Yeah.
drones to taste.
Yeah.
And it's actually ridiculously maneuverable because the Omen is a attack cruiser.
Yeah. So as soon as I saw this fit, I'm like, without even talking to Spill, I'm like, Spill, get on the test server. I have a fit to fly, and it was really fun. It was a lot of fun. I ended up I killed a caracal again. I killed Spill in a caracal. I mean, this is test server; it's not real. But I killed a caracal, and I almost had him in a vagabond before I was able to heat my MWD and warp out. And I mean, Vaga has like the best resist ever. It was a close fight in my head. It wasn't a close fight, but it looks like a really fun ship to fly. So yeah, I'm gonna also try and fly that Omen, get a little better at manual piloting. Basically, I would say let's shoot for kiting cruisers and try and get some sweet manual piloting fights. Try and tap into our inner Coverix this week. I think is what we're gonna try and see how terrible we are.
Also, yeah, I'm expecting terrible results. It should be amazing. Also, this is only like 20 to 30 mil, so it's super cheap, which I'm really excited about because I'm Jew.
Definitely. So I'm happy with that. Okay. So closing thoughts. Anything else? Any shout outs you have hidden? Anything you want to say before we wind down the episode?
Nah. I thought I did, but nah.
All right. No worries. Well, thanks for coming on, man, and thanks everyone else for listening and for all the support and the feedback that the community has given us. We do appreciate it, and we will definitely do our best to continue producing good content for you guys. So yeah, until next week, sometime midweek, I'm gonna release another video. Just to kind of get these clips out of here and then start releasing better ones. But so look out for that, and otherwise join us in game in the daily roam, or send us a mail, or check out the website. So all right, guys, have a good one, and fly dangerous.
Peace out.
Bye.